Kidding? Just one shot?
They're not all zombies, Doug. How do you fight this thing?
Maybe we could drown it in A1 sauce.
Well, sometimes that is better. The person you put up there ain't the person that comes back.
It's a dance song to get down with. About 6 feet under. Get there.
Ooh, I love this song. I'm hung up in a grave situation.
And now we come to the thrilling final episode of our radio drama.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 246 of the Rotten Views podcast. We have another fun one in store for you guys today, or at least I hope it's a fun one. As always with doing these podcast episodes, sometimes if I haven't actually seen the movie before, upon doing this intro, I haven't actually watched it yet. So I don't know if it's going to be a good movie or not. I'm hoping it's going to be a good movie. I know it's got Adam West in it, but I don't think he's in the movie for all that long. I think he's in... I want to say I remember someone talking about this movie before, and he's only in for like 12 minutes, but yet they put him on like the cover, like the title, let everyone know that he's in the movie, but he's not really a big part of the movie. And the movie we're talking about today is Zombie Nightmare from 1987. Got an hour and 29 minutes runtime. I'm hoping it's going to be a fun movie, but it's a very B movie zombie flick, which might even be worse than a B movie zombie flick. It might be worse than that. I like I said, I don't know yet, so we're gonna have a fun one. If you guys are returning listeners, thank you for coming back each and every single week. If you're a new listener, you picked this episode, good on you, I guess. You like bad movies, and I can appreciate that very, very much. Now, before we get into the podcast episode at hand, let's do a little bit of housekeeping like we like to do each and every single week before the episode starts.
Housekeeping?
I think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping?
Could you come back in an hour?
Housekeeping, you want towel?
More towels. Need sleepy.
Housekeeping, you want mint for pillow?
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God.
So as always, if you guys are listening on Spotify, please give it a star review if you feel like you need to or you want to. I'd appreciate if you did. Give it a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, whatever you want. 1 star, doesn't really matter. Everything's going to be A-okay. Doesn't matter what the star rating is. But at the end of the day, the thing that you guys can do the most that helps out the most is just hitting that share button. Share it on your Instagram page, Facebook page, Twitch page, Twitter page, whatever the page might be. Feel free to share it. Helping get the podcast out there to more ears is definitely something that we want to shoot for, and is something I appreciate very, very much. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to make a like-minded community of people that all enjoy the same kind of content. Also, if you're listening on iTunes or Apple, feel free to leave a review over there as well. But at the end of the day, just hitting that share button on whatever platform you're listening on does help out the podcast a lot. And as always, make sure to follow me on all social media accounts at Typhonsign. We got the Instagram page, Facebook page, TikTok. There's a bunch of pages that I'm blanking on right now for some reason after doing X amount of episodes of this podcast. But the main thing that I always want people to check out is the YouTube channel. We have a community post over there as well. We have the weekly gaming video that drops every single Wednesday. I have old episodes of the podcast that drop every single Monday. We have various short videos over there as well. And we do live streams, so definitely go check that out. Been live streams of Fortnite, some zombies, Call of Duty, all that other kind of fun stuff. So there's a ton of free content for you guys if you want some more stuff outside the podcast. And then the final thing, I think I mentioned it a little bit last week, but we have a new thing to promote. It's a new, I guess, business adventure that hopefully will work out. We don't know what the general plan is right now at this point in time, but I am friends with someone who bought Canadian Wrestling Championship.ca. It's an actual wrestling promotion. We have a ring, we have a title. It's a bunch of stuff that needs to be reworked, but we're going to rebuild it from the bottom all the way back up to the top. And hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year, but we'll be having some indie promotion wrestling matches in the local area. That's the end game, the end goal, and hopefully it'll be a fun thing. I think this community needs a lot more wrestling fun, so we're going to shoot for making some good content. Hopefully when the events do happen, I'll be posting them more, talking about them more on the podcast, but hopefully maybe we'll be even able to live stream it on Twitch or YouTube. I'm not sure the logistics of everything right now. Everything's just in the beginning process of starting it from scratch. I don't want to get into too much of the legal side of things, just because there's not time for that right now at this point in time. But we are rebuilding everything from scratch, essentially. Just keeping the name as it is, but we gotta redo the ring, redo the title. We've got some merchandise out, so definitely go check out. All the links are going to be down in the description for this episode and every episode moving forward, so definitely go check that out. We have an Instagram page, got a Facebook group, and I think that's it for right now, to be honest with you. So definitely go check that out. We're going to be rebuilding a roster, and it's going to be a fun adventure. At least I hope it's going to be a fun adventure. And if it works out right, we're also going to be doing a weekly wrestling podcast, maybe talking about the wrestling that's happened on like the bigger promotions, AEW, WWE, whatever it might be. We also have a weekly feature that drops every single Friday where we pick a different wrestler, not with our promotion, but with any promotion, just to discuss a little bit of their history and, you know, hopefully making just a wrestling community as well. There's way too many things on the go at once, but that's totally okay, and it's something that's enjoyable. So hopefully you guys would check that out as well. Like I said, all the links will be down in the description below. And I think that's enough housekeeping for right now. I got a ton of artwork out too, so definitely go check that out. Still doing the Lunchbox Surprise Series. We have Smiling Friends, or Smiley Critters. I forget what the series was called, but those dropped. And then I'm actually going to be doing some Garfield stuff for the next Lunchbox series, so definitely go check those out. They're all on my Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channel. And yeah, I just got a lot of content that I keep popping out, and hopefully you guys enjoy it all. With that being said, let's get started on the episode at hand, because you guys are here to listen to me talk about a zombie movie. And like I said at the beginning, the title of the movie is Zombie Nightmare from 1987. It's an hour and 29-minute runtime. This movie features a 2.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 2.2 out of 5 on Letterboxd. 71% of Google users have enjoyed this movie. Initial release date, May 29th, 1986, with a budget of $180,000, and it's distributed by New World Pictures. The description as read on IMDb: a mother resorts to voodoo to get back at those who killed her son. The director for this one, there's actually two directors for this one. The first one we're going to talk about is Jack Brovman, whose credits aren't really anything that catches my eye, to be honest with you, but let's discuss them anyways. In 1981, he was the producer for Voodoo Dolls. He was the producer for 1988's The Carpenter. 1987, obviously, he was the producer of The Zombie Nightmare. And then there's a bunch of other movies that I don't really feel the need to talk about because the ratings just keep getting worse and worse as we go along. The other director for this one is John Fasano. I butchered that last name, but I'm good with doing that. He's also one of the writers for this movie as well, but he's a little bit more well known. He's the producer for 1993's Tombstone. He was the writer for 1999's Universal Soldier: The Return. He was the writer for 2003 Darkness Falls, and he was the writer for 1990's Another 48 Hours. He also is an actor in this movie as well. And the other writer that we're going to talk about is David Wellington, who's best known for writing 4 episodes of Vikings from 2017 to 2019. He was the writer for 3 episodes of Orphan Black from 2016 to 2017. He wrote 8 episodes of Queer as Folk from 2001 to 2005. But he also was the producer for 74 episodes of Rookie Blue from 2010 to 2015. We are now going to jump over to that segment where we talk about the people in the movie, like the actresses and actors. And the only one we're actually going to mention is Adam West, because all the other ones seem to be in a B movie here and there, but nothing really to talk about at all. And of course, you know Adam West for none other than being Ace in Chicken Little. I mean, that's probably not what you know him for. Maybe you know him as Adam West in Drop Dead Gorgeous from 1999. Or maybe you know him as Bruce Wayne for 120 episodes of Batman from 1966 to 1968. Or maybe you know him most likely as Mayor Adam West for 118 episodes of Family Guy from 2000 to 2018. I personally, for me, I love the original Batman TV show so much. I think it's so cheesy, so bad, but that's just my type of show, and I love it so much. I think he's a great Batman, to be honest with you. The tagline for this movie is, "The wasted ain't wasted." Pretty simple and straightforward, I guess. And trivia for you guys, top billed Adam West does not appear until approximately 45 minutes into the movie. The movie is an hour and 28 minutes, I believe. So yeah, he definitely takes his time to appear in this movie, but that's A-okay. So let's get the fun movie started now. And I should have said this earlier on, but if you're a new listener, what I do with this podcast, I talk about a movie from start to finish and hit all the points in between. So this is going to be a very spoiler heavy episode, just like they always are. So if you don't want to be spoiled on a movie that came out in 1987, feel free to pause it now. You can watch it for free on Tubi. Go watch it on Tubi and then come back and listen to me talk about the movie. You probably don't want to do that. Just saves a little bit of time. Listen to me talk about this movie, and maybe I'll make it sound really good, or you'll just be okay with not seeing it ever. You know, I'll leave that call up to you at the end of the day, but hopefully this will help you either see the movie or you'll know just enough to avoid it. But we all love bad movies, so let's get this bad movie, or what we assume might be a bad movie, started. So with that being said, if you're at home, you know, get some snacks, sit back, relax. Maybe this helps you get to sleep. I don't know why it would, but if it does, it does. If you're at work, hopefully this helps you get through the day. And if you're listening in the car, like I know a lot of you guys are, keep your eyes on the road. That way everyone gets to where they're going safe and sound and nothing bad happens. And with that being said, let's jump into the movie right now.
Presents Saturday Night at the Movies, the television series which each week brings you the finest in recent motion pictures. Tonight,
See, look, I told you, there's nobody here.
We have this movie starting out with a intro picture that I've never seen that just says like Dark Force Entertainment with a world and the CGI gargoyle on the back of it. I've never seen that ever at all. And then we just cut straight into a lady who's doing some voodoo magic, and there's a bunch of candles all over the place, and she's crying because we can't just, you know, by description we know her kid is dead. We didn't see how the kid died at all, but the kid's dead, and we're just assuming the voodoo stuff is starting right off the bat. And just like that, with her doing some little signs and some motions and mumbling and grumbling, the guy just wakes up in the coffin and just starts screaming. His eyes are solid white, and then we just see Zombie Nightmare pop up on the screen, and it doesn't look great, but I enjoy it. I enjoy how the red dark font is there, and then it's kind of like a VHS effect zombie font coming behind it with the Nightmare, and then we just see Adam West's name pop up as the intro credits start to roll, as we have Motorhead playing in the background. Not sure how they afforded that, but that's okay. And then as the intro credits are playing, we actually see it says music by Motorhead. So I'm assuming Motorhead does most of the music or all the music for this movie. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty damn cool. And then we just cut to a bunch of kids playing some baseball. I don't know if it's a real game or if they're just playing for fun. Nobody's in a uniform, nobody's in an outfit. I'm assuming they probably couldn't afford to get everyone dressed the same way. But yeah, they're just having fun. This little kid's cheering on his dad outside. Like, yeah, Dad, you're doing great. You're batting the ball and stuff, and you're doing good, Dad. Then this lady goes to leave the baseball field because she was watching the game. And these two greaser guys are like, "Oh, what the hell is she doing here?" And they're like, "Oh, she's walked away. Let's go have some fun. We can only assume what's going to happen next." And of course, the greaser guys get ahead of her. And they're like, "Hey, you came in the wrong neighborhood, Toots. You're going to have to pay the price if you want to be in the wrong neighborhood." And then out of nowhere, the dad that was playing baseball, because the game's now over, just comes running down the street and just starts knocking the two guys out. And then he picks one up and does like the airplane wrestling spin to the guy. And the guy's screaming for his life, even though he's just getting like spinning around. And then, next thing you know, you see the dad kicking the other kid in the head. And the fight's over, I guess, kind of. Even though the one guy's got a knife, and then the dad is Billy. Billy gets stabbed in the side, and the kids run away. But now Billy looks like he's dead laying on top of the girl, and the son's just washing off on the sidewalk, being like, "Oh no, that's not good." And now I'm assuming we have a time lapse now, because now we cut back to the baseball field, and we see what looks to be maybe a very much older version of the kid who's now a teenager, and I'm assuming his dad died. I'm not really too sure. I believe this more teenager version of the kid is played by Thor. I've heard of him from other horror movies. He's also like a band member of something, but he's like a rocker with the long hair and stuff. He's coming up to his house, and his mom's sitting on the porch. He's like, "Yeah, make sure you take your jacket even though you just got home. It looks like it might rain outside. It might get cold." And then we cut to this club where these people are dancing, if you want to call it that. They're moving like they're in slow motion, but they're all dancing in like suits and very fancy dresses. But the outside of this building, this club, didn't look like it was that fancy at all. And off on the side, there's a bunch of these rocker kids. They're all just having fun, being loud, being obnoxious. And one of the guys in the suit's like, "Hey kids, can you guys keep it down?" So then the kid turns around with a knife, and he's like, "You want us to keep it down, huh? How about we cut your throat, man?" It's like, everyone else is in fancy suits and shit. How the hell did you little brats get inside here? And then the one kid's like, everyone wants to be a real tough guy until it comes time to be tough guy and do tough guy things. And then the bouncer comes over, and then the other buddy's like, so tough guy, what's your suggestion for this situation that we're in right now? He's like, how about we pay the tab and get the hell out of here before we get our ass kicked? So anyways, we see the kids getting kicked out of the little bar club area, and as they're walking through the parking lot, the one guy's like, "The night is young and so are we." But it looks like the sun's just starting to go down now at this point in time, so I'm not sure how long they've been in there drinking, or maybe they're just lightweights. So I believe it's Thor. I believe that's his name. But anyways, this guy at this store is calling him Tony. And Tony's like, how's the new job? We're working out for you. He's like, it's not too bad, but they want me to cut my nice long hair. And he's like, you can't cut your hair. That's what makes you who you are. And Tony goes off down one of the aisles to go grab something else. And these two guys come in to rob the guy. He's like, I want you to give me all your money right now. And the clerk guy kind of pushes his gun off to the side, being like, come on, you don't want to do that. You don't want to hurt us. Come on, no. So then Buddy sends Phil, the other robber, down an aisle to go check on Tony. And Tony literally just knocks him right out like it's no big deal. Then he runs up to the other guy at the counter and just knocks him down to the ground. And then just grabs his hand and starts crushing the guy's wrist to the point where he drops the gun and just starts wailing on him. So then Tony tosses one guy out, and he's like, get back to the sewer, you dirtbag. And then Phil, the other robber, starts walking out the door. And then Tony just, sacks him and throws him down on the ground, be like, you get out of here too, man. So then we see Tony getting ready to leave the store, and he's getting ready to cross the street. It's nighttime, it's raining a little bit now. And then that group of kids from the bar, or the club, they're speeding down with their Mercedes or whatever it might have been. And they just run his ass right over her. And then the store clerk comes out and we just see Tony laying off on the side of the ground. And he's not looking too good. Doesn't look like he's moving at all. So we find out the store clerk's name is Mr. Peters. Anyways, Mr. Peters is flagging down another car to stop for help. Anyways, they're like, oh, what happened, Mr. Peters? And he's just like, I don't really know. And then next thing you know, we see that car with Mr. Peters in it and Tony in the back seat pulling up to his mom's house. And Mr. Peter comes out walking down the sidewalk to go to the house, the front door. And the mom just runs out screaming, be like, my boy, my boy. And they're just carrying him in a red blanket and then they just leave him on the sidewalk. And then the mom's like, hey, do you know Louisa or whatever this lady's name is? And the one guy's like, not really. And then Mr. Peter's like, what do you want with that crazy Haitian? She's like, don't worry about it. They ain't taking my boy. They already took my husband. They ain't taking my boy. Well, I'm going to make sure my boy's going to be okay. So it's kind of like a Pumpkinhead-esque style story so far. And then she tells Mr. Peters that apparently Louisa owes her a favor and it's time for her to pay up on the favor. Then we see the group of teens stop in the car and get out of the car. And the one lady gets out of the car and she's like, so what's the big deal? You know, he's just one of them. Nobody's going to really care that one of them kind of just died. No big deal. And then one buddy's like, hey, to the driver, are you okay? You know, are you doing okay? Because, you know, you just ran somebody over. And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, to be honest with you. Kind of felt good taking his life away, just, you know, taking it all away. Just, like, so simple, so easy. You know, I kind of want to do it again, to be honest with you. Alright, so we have the Haitian lady finally showing up to the house. But now her name, not Louisa, it's Molly, I believe. So maybe I got the names mixed up at some point in time. Maybe Louisa's the mom's name. I'm not really too sure. The cast listing on IMDb is not very clear. There's a couple people that are just named as teenagers. So the Haitian lady starts to talk, and she's talking like she's crying the whole damn time. And I'm not sure if it's because she's trying to put an accent on or what, but it's not that great. And then we come back to like the beginning of the movie where we see the Haitian lady in her full on like ceremony attire and everything, face painted, robe on and everything. And she's like, Louise, so that's the mom of Tony, Thor, whatever the hell his name was. And she's like, you know, you need to understand, I can't actually bring life back to your son, but I can bring him back to life, but only for long enough that he gets his vengeance back on who did it to him. And then the mom's like, well, how will you know? And she's like, trust me, he'll know who did it to him, and he'll avenge himself, and everything will be fine. Kind of. And then we're right back at the beginning of the movie where we see her doing her little chants and mumbling and grumbling. You know, listening to her talk actually reminds me of like the old school days when Paul Bearer was the manager for The Undertaker and he have that like whiny sound to his voice. That's literally what this lady sounds like, and I'm assuming that's where she got her reference from for being like an undead person. I don't know. I'm just shooting a shot out there wondering. I'm thinking that's what it is. Anyways, it's now the next day, and we see the driver that caused the accident waking up, and he's all like hungover, and his mom's, you know, causing issues, being like, oh, what time did you show up last night causing all that wreck? 'Cause also, where's your father's car? Did you wreck that one too? Did you wrap it around a telephone pole too? You can't just keep going around wrecking all of our cars. And I don't know where the little cocky punk is eating like a handful of spaghetti just that he found in the fridge by the looks of it. And then he throws it at his mom and she starts screaming at him. And he's like, Mom, have a good day. And then he hops outside and gets into another new red, I don't know if it's a Ferrari or what it is. I'm not really too keen or knowledgeable on that make of car, so I'm not really too sure, but he's clearly a spoiled punk, and he, as we see him driving down the road, and he's cutting lanes, going in the oncoming traffic. For what reason? No reason, just because he can, because he's a dickhead. And then we see him showing up at the Twist and Cream. It looks like a little outside diner, roller derby little spot. And he's like, good morning, killers. And then one of the other guys like, hey, can you keep it down? We don't need anyone else knowing that we killed someone last night, right? And then we find out the driver's name is Jimbo, apparently. But anyways, one of the other guys is reading the paper and being like, hey, yeah, there's nothing in this paper about our little adventure last night, so maybe he's okay. And one lady's like, maybe he walked home fine. Maybe he was just fine. He's like, no, when Jimbo kills him, Jimbo makes sure they're dead. You know, you literally just hit him, ran him over, and then drove away. So you wouldn't actually know if he's dead or not. And for whatever reason, like two of the people that were there during the car scene, we just see them playing tennis. No sound, just music playing over everything, and just the guy and the girl running back and forth, hitting the tennis ball for a good like minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe even longer. I wasn't really keeping track, but it's kind of just like as a little bit of filler for the movie's runtime. And then they just start making out at the net, and then the janitor comes through the curtain and be like, Pete, is that you? Like, yeah, Pete, yeah, man, it's me. I'll lock up once we're done. He's like, alright, cool. Then we see the outside of this building where we assume our zombie Thor is walking up to the door, because seconds before this we just saw the Haitian lady putting one single candle into the casket where the guy was laying. But now we see our other two people that were playing tennis. They're now getting ready to undress and I'm assuming hit the shower together. Sorry, they're not going in the shower. They're going to this like little pool, jacuzzi looking area. Just, to sit back and relax and have some fun together. Anyways, let me see from the point of view of the killer walking through the locker room. And I guess one of the lockers makes a sound. And the girl's like, oh, what was that? I could have swore I heard something hit in the locker room. Can you go check it, please? It's a horror movie. Nothing bad would ever happen, right? But he gets to the hot tub and looks down the one walkway. He's like, see, told you nothing's here. And then zombie version of Tommy, or whatever his name was, Tony, just comes in behind the door that he's not looking down, and just grabs him by the throat and snaps his neck. And next thing you know, we see her running down this looks like almost a track because there's like grass down on it, and we have the zombie version just with the baseball bat still in hand, just slowly stumbling towards her, but she looks like she's running full tilt, but he's just slow stumble, feet don't really work right, still keeping up though. And then the janitor guy's like sitting on a beanbag chair and he hears her screaming. He's like, oh, those little devils are getting some fun in today, that's for sure. Anyways, Zombie Boy goes to swing the bat at her, and she breaks his ankles and gets around him like no big deal. And then we just see her running away, but next thing you know, he's choking her out with the bat, and then he throws her down the bleachers and just starts using her as a piñata and beating her with his baseball bat. And then next thing you know, we just see a bunch of blood all over the place and she's not moving anymore. And then we cut back to the janitor who's now asleep on his beanbag chair, and he's got his magazine on his chest that he was reading, and he's reading a Fangoria magazine, but it's got the Maximum Overdrive Goblin truck on the cover of it. And I think that's probably the best part about this whole damn movie is that Fangoria magazine, because that's a sweet cover. And then we just see the janitor guy outside the building talking to some police officers. He's like, I've been working here for 20 years before we even had this fancy building. We had some dirt courts back then. I ain't ever seen nothing like this at all. The detective guy's like, hey, you hear anyone else come in at all by chance? He's like, no, man, I fell asleep. Janitor's like, hey, man, I heard them screaming, but, it's nothing out of the abnormal to hear them screaming, if you know what I mean. He's like, yeah, I totally get what you're putting down there, buddy. We find out that the detective, his name is Frank, and then he's looking at the crowd of people that just randomly appeared out of nowhere by the barricade. And one time we see the Haitian lady, and then the next time he looks back, and she's just disappeared the whole time. So then we have Detective Frank talking to what might be the coroner or whatever inside. He's not wearing gloves at all, and he's wiping off his hands like he's got blood over it. He's like, so what was it, like a double suicide? And the coroner guy's like, yeah, Loverboy over here smashed her face in with the bat, then snapped his own neck after putting himself in the pool afterwards. And the detective's like, wait, his neck was snapped? You don't think it was a suicide? No, they were murdered, definitely murdered. And then we're outside the Twist and Cream again. Now there's three of them. The driver guy, one of the ladies, another guy. And the guy's reading the paper and be like, 2 teens overdosed on angel dust? Man, you never did drugs once, man. They're just lying about that in the news. And then the driver guy, Jimbo there, he's like, that big goon that we flattened there, he must have killed them. I guess we didn't do a good enough job as we thought we did. He must be still alive lurking around in the woods somewhere. And Buddy's like, hey, Jimbo, so what are we going to do about the big guy if he comes around again? He's like, well, maybe I'll just take my knife out and I'll scalp him. And the guy's like, hey, you need to calm down, Jimbo. He's like, no, I'm not going to calm down. I'm actually having a really good time with this all. And Jimbo tries to come on to one of the waitresses, and she's like, I'm old enough to be your older sister. And he's like, well, I've always wanted to give with a sister before. And then she's like, well, sorry, because of my religion, I can't intermingle with other species that aren't human. So no, I'm not gonna bother wasting your time with you, you little creep. And then we finally meet Adam West, who seems to be the police chief or sergeant, because Hank's showing up being like, so this is what the coroner said about the kids that died there in the pool. It wasn't a double suicide, and they were murdered. And then Hank's like, so, where did this story in the newspaper come about the overdosing and drugs and whatnot? And Adam West's character's like, it was me. I gave it to them. Until we have some actual leads as to what's going on, I just want to give the paper an and everyone in this city false information, so they're not worrying that there's a killer running around the town. Then we see the Twist and Cream lady, waitress, closing up, and it's nighttime now, and she's going to her car, and then Jimbo pops up. He's like, hey, want to smoke? She's like, well, I actually haven't smoked since college. She's like, well, I might not matter or, measure up to those college guys, but they can't measure up to me. And she gets all pissed off. She's like, you need to leave me alone or I'm calling the cops. So then he gets a little handsy with her and throws her into a bunch of garbage bags that just were sitting by a garbage can off in the corner by a bush. And, she's trying to fight him off. She spits in his face, and then he pulls out his knife. He's like, don't worry. I won't actually hurt you, unless you want me to. She is able to get the knife out of his hand and throws it off to the side. And he's like, you're going to get that. So he backhands her and goes after his knife. And he's like, oh, look, it's my friend. He's finally back. The zombie version of Tony or whatever. And we just see him, stabbing him off camera. And then we just see Tony and Jimbo fighting, and he's kind of just tossing him around a little bit, and then next thing you know, he's taking his baseball bat and impaling Jimbo in the stomach and carrying him off. So then we have the detective guy questioning the waitress. She's like, yeah, I was knocked out, he wasn't my boyfriend at all, but then when I came back too, this giant creature guy, he's the thing that saved me, and that's why I'm not dead right now, but he's dead because the giant thing must have killed him. And then the coroner guy comes over. He's like, so what we got here, Frank? And he's like, well, apparently she almost got raped, and this big jolly green giant guy saved her. And the coroner's like, so did she impale him with the baseball bat, or what happened there? He's like, no, apparently it was a jolly green giant. He impaled Jimbo because Jimbo's a creep. And now it's the next day, and the last surviving dude is just working out, trying to get sweat on, and then the phone keeps ringing, and the mom's like, hey, the phone's ringing. He's like, yeah, I could hear. I'm working out though. And apparently on the other end of the phone is Amy, the last surviving lady, and she's freaking out. And Bob's like, what's the big deal? She's like, I didn't hear. Jimbo's dead behind the diner. We're the only ones left. We're clearly next. Don't you see that? He's like, yeah, right. Yeah. So now we're at the police station again, and we see Frank going to talk to Adam West's character. And this one officer's bringing this, biker-looking guy with a mohawk. Literally looks like the same guy that robbed the store at the beginning of the movie. Doesn't matter, though. Anyways, he's fighting off all these cops, and this one cop punches the biker guy in the face. He literally flies across the room. But it's a dub, hit sound, like that Batman original TV show. But then this guy starts taking on everyone in the police station, and then Frank and Adam West's characters was like, all right, we're going to go in the office and talk. And then Adam West's character, so you see James out there is, he's a very strong dude, right? So we're definitely going to, pinpoint the murders on him, because clearly he's a little bit psychotic. And then Frank's like, why would he kill the kids, though? He didn't rob them or anything. He's known for robbing people. And yeah, sure, he might be strong, but he's not known to be a murderer. And Adam West is like, we're just trying to clear these cases as soon as possible. And then Frank's like, I think we're trying to clear these cases a little bit too soon, because I don't think he's the guy that's been going around killing people. And Adam West is like, I get it, Frank. You're just a little upset you weren't able to grab the brass ring and, close this case. Don't worry, you got plenty of cases to mess up down the road, so don't worry about it, alright, Frank? This case is closed. We got everything under control here. And then we see Adam West and Frank out for, dinner to celebrate, I guess, at this little spot that looks like it's really busy and doesn't look that fancy at all. He's like, I just can't believe that this is the case and that this is over, because, look at how this guy, look, Cap, I got a picture of him. He's impaled by a baseball bat. And Wes is like, hey, this is a celebration, alright? The case is closed. We're celebrating. We're having some beers or some alcohol. We got candle lit on the table. It's a little romantic celebration, alright? Smile. It's an order. You gotta smile because the case is closed, because I'm the captain and I said so. And then we cut back to the Haitian lady, and it's now nighttime, and we see Tony coming out of his casket to, kill off the last people that, ran him over with a car. Now we have Frank at home, and he's like, pissed off. He's like, you know what? This case isn't closed. I'm going to look at all the footage and all the pictures I have. And then he starts looking at all the pictures. That's when he then notices every other picture has the Haitian lady inside of it. Conveniently enough, I guess. So he's like, she must have something to do with it. So Frank grabs the captain, and Captain's not too happy. He's like, so these pictures, is this why you grabbed me out of this goddamn bed at this time in the morning? You know I gotta be here at 6 a.m., right? And he's like, come on, Captain, I just need the permission to drag this Molly lady in for questioning. And that's when he kind of starts rubbing his head, because the captain has some memories of Molly and knows that she's a Haitian voodoo lady, and there's some dubbing over, some screaming and whatnot. I'm not really sure what that has to do with anything, but the captain's not too happy about Molly being in the picture. So then Wes's character sends Hank back home to go get some rest because he looks sick or tired and whatnot. And then we have Wes's character calling Jimbo's parents, being like, "So, hey, how's Mary taking, your kid being dead and stuff?" And he's like, "We got some trouble. Seems like Molly is involved with this whole killing thing, and we're gonna have to find this witch and kill her." And I'm assuming maybe Wes's character and the other guy are like the bullies from the beginning of the movie, but I'm not really 100% sure on that one. Also, when the phone's ringing, we see the outside point of view of Jimbo's house. There's also two people walking off on the side, the far right side. I'm not sure if that's crew members or not, because it's supposed to be like super early in the morning at this point in time, before 6 a.m., but still looks kind of bright outside. Anyways, then we cut back to Wes after hanging up the phone. He's getting this big ass handgun out with a giant ass scope on it, being like, "Yeah, we're gonna hunt down this witch." Jimbo's dad's coming out of the house and locking the front door, and out of nowhere, Tony's just behind him, just zombie growling at him. Jimbo's dad turns around, has like a hunting rifle in hand, and just pops Tony once and drops on the ground. But now Jimbo's dad is having issues unlocking his car door and getting into his car. He finally gets into the car, then he's having trouble starting the car because he can't get the key in the ignition. And then zombie Tony comes over, just grabs Jimbo's dad and just snaps his neck like it's no big deal. And then as Frank is getting home, he gets a call on the radio, and he has to run over to Jimbo's house. He's like, look, there's another guy dead here. Don't know what's going on, but he snapped like a twig. So we see Bob, I think is his name, and Amy getting ready. They're getting ready to leave. And apparently Bob's going to go break into a certain spot that Jimbo said he had some money stashed aside. It's inside this big-ass garage, and they get the garage door finally open. It's not like a house garage by any means. It's like an actual workshop garage with car lifts and everything in it, and they're both like, this is a really big garage. I wonder where the money's stashed at. And of course, while they're inside the garage, we see a giant shadow of zombie Tony showing up on the wall, slowly stumbling closer and closer to them. Then we see Molly, the Haitian lady, who's walking through a parking lot that might be attached to the garage because there's a couple beat up cars there. And then lurking out of the shadows, we see Frank slowly following behind her. So we see Bob looking for the money, and he's looking for a toolbox, and then Zombie Boy comes up behind him, smashes his head in the hood of a car, and then into the side fender of a car, and then we see just blood splattering all over the place. And Amy comes over, and she starts freaking out. And then we see Molly doing this weird dance and like moving her lips but no sounds coming out. And then Frank comes up behind her and walks into the garage, and then we see the garage door shutting behind him. And then we just see Amy running and screaming for her life through this garage as she goes downstairs to their section, but apparently the downstairs section has a paint booth in it. I'm not sure how that works out. I don't know how you would get the car upstairs then. But anyways, and then while she's standing in the painting booth waiting to see Zombie Boy walk down, he appears behind her and just smashes her face into the painting booth glass, and she's dead now. And then Frank's like, "Hey, freeze!" He's like, shit. And next thing you know, Zombie Boy's, getting ready to choke slam him on the ground. Well, or on the back of a car with a car rack. And then we have Wes showing up, and he's like, well, hello, witch. How about you show me where all the party goers are so we can handle this situation that we have at hand. And then we see Zombie Boy walking through the woods, and Frank is following behind him because the Zombie Boy didn't kill him, of course, and has no interest in killing him at all. And then he comes to this graveyard and just starts laying down on the ground. And then the captain comes up with Molly. He's like, don't worry about it, Frank. He's not going to hurt you at all. He doesn't want to hurt you at all, so you're going to be fine. So now we find out a little bit of backstory, and of course I was right. Wes's character is one of the bullies at the beginning of the movie, and that actually Molly was the lady that was getting attacked by the two greasers, one of them being obviously Adam West's character, another one being Jimbo's dad. It's kind of full circle because Zombie Boy's dad was actually the one that got murdered, so it's kind of like a full circle, I guess you could say. But yeah, Wes's character shoots Zombie Boy in the back a couple times, and the next thing you know, he's smoking from the mouth. I'm not really too sure what that has to do with zombies at all. And Wes is watching the zombie guy just, shake on the ground as smoke's coming out of his mouth and his eyes and his ears. And then he looks over at Molly and sees Molly's doing some weird chanting stuff. So he just shoots her once, and then Frank's like, oh, okay, I see how it is, Cap. So then Frank's like, hey, what are you going to do, Cap? You going to kill me too? He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to kill you. You might as well just take it like a man. And as he's saying that, another zombie just comes out of the ground and starts attacking Wes and starts dragging him into the gravesite. And Wes is like, God, Frank, can you kill the zombie, please? Frank, can you help me? Frank? Hello? Do you see what I'm saying? And we just see Wes's character get, dragged down to this gravesite with a bright red light coming out of it. And he's gone, disappeared. The hell, I guess. And then Frank walks over to the gravesite, and we can tell there's just some fake grass over top of it, but now the hole's gone. So then we just see Frank walking off into the darkness, leaving the graveyard, as some, metal music is playing, and then the outro credits start to roll on the screen, and that's the end of the movie. And it was definitely interesting. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, not gonna lie. It's kind of weird that, like I said, Adam West's character doesn't come until like 48 minutes of the movie. But he's in it for like maybe 20 minutes or so. He's in it here and there. 20 minutes is like high number, to be honest with you. But it wasn't too bad. I didn't mind it. On the rotten scale, I'll give it a 4. I'm going to be nice with a 4. It should probably be like a 3.5. But that Fangoria magazine cover, that's topping it up a little bit. So we'll give it a 4 to be generous, because I'm in a good mood right now. Which brings us to a point in time where I got to pick what we're watching next week. Alright, so we're going to pick another movie from Tubi, and it's still in the zombie section, and it's also a blind watch. But I just saw the trailer for it, and I really want to watch it because it doesn't look great, but I want to watch it anyways. It's from 2011. It's called Zombie Apocalypse. It's got Ving Rhames in it, which I love him. I think he's a great actor. I loved him in the Dawn of the Dead remake. But it also has Crabman. Don't know his name, from My Name's Earl. And I've never seen him in a movie, aside from the My Name's Earl TV show. So I'm looking forward to watching that one. I think that's going to be fun. Hopefully it is. I don't know if it will be. But hopefully you guys will check that one out next week as well. But with that being said, as always, make sure to check out the outro band, Toronto-based horror band, Blood Opera. All their links are down below in the description. You can find them on Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, all that other fun stuff. Go say hi to them. Go buy some of their merch. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And as always, make sure to check out all my links down below at Typhonstein. Find me on all social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, TikTok, whatever it might be. Main thing being, though, definitely check out the YouTube channel where we drop the weekly game video every single Wednesday. We drop over episodes of the podcast every single Monday. We have various shorts over there, community posts, as well as doing live streams. So if you want to see me play some video games or do some artwork, definitely go check out the YouTube channel for the live streams as well. The last thing that we're going to chill out tonight, make sure to check out CWC on Instagram and on Facebook, Canadian Wrestling Championship.ca. We got some merch out there. We have a couple t-shirts for sale on the website as well, just 2 variants of the logo, so definitely go check that out. I'm not sure how many supplies are going to be lasting for those. I'm not sure the limit. I think they're somewhat limited run. You might want to get them before they all sell out. Various sizes. Like I said, you can get the logo on a black shirt, get the logo on a white shirt, 2 variants of each. Definitely go check it out. Like I said, we have videos coming out Friday where I'm going to be discussing like wrestlers of the week. We're going to be announcing our roster as we slowly go, doing up some designs for title belts, all that other fun stuff. It's going to be a big project. It's going to be a fun one. It's one of the many passion projects in the fire, let's say. So this one should be a good one, and hopefully we'll have some more content coming out weekly. Going to be doing a tribute show for the passing of Sabu as well, hopefully in the next couple weeks as well. I'm not really too sure the planning on that one yet. I'm not really the person headlining that one, at least not that I know of, so we'll see how that one goes as well.
And I'll have links for that once it's out as well, so definitely go check out, like I said, check them out on the Instagram page as well as Facebook. That's the main things that we have going right now. Like I said, CWC, Canadian Wrestling Championship, and I will talk to you guys all later. Peace.
I am the whisper in the classroom, the writing on the wall. What's
blood for, if not for the shedding.
You used to play that childhood game, didn't you? The one where we changed